So the idea is to show people how we make beer. So what we've got here is an exhibit with all the raw materials. So we've brought a little water tank telling you how important water is to every brewery. Most breweries were born around towns which had natural spring water, as is our brewery in Faversham. Then we've got the malted barley over here, so we've got some examples of the barley itself, some barley sheaves, and then it's been converted into a whole range of malts, and we've had one of our suppliers give us a full range from pale ale right down to roasted black barley. And with this malt here you can make any different type of beer, from a very pale light ale to a black stout if that's what you wanted to do. What we're showing people here is 3 different types of hops. There are many different types of hops. You use hops for 2 reasons: to make beer bitter and to give it a nice aroma. So we've got some hops there which we would use to make our beers bitter. This is the lovely Golding hop, East Kent Golding, where you get nice aromas. And I brought some samples here. This is what the farmers send in to me every year. So you look at the side of the hops, you're looking for a nice evenness, plenty of lupulin, no disease. I don't want too many leaves in there, I want just hop cones, that's the yellow bits. I open it up and make sure it looks clean inside. And then you rub them and you smell them. And you just get this amazing grassy aroma coming off, which we try and import into all of our beers. So that's the Golding hop. And we're very fortunate in Faversham, we've got our own hop garden. So on Friday we chopped down some bines. It's a bit early, you shouldn't really do this until the end of the month, but we brought them up specially just to show people that that's what they look like. They grow 18 feet tall, amazing plants, same as plant type as cannabis, Humulus lupulus, different varieties. And we've got one example of every hop that's been used for the past 100 years for growing English hops. We've got one of all of them. So of course the whole idea of having this exhibition is to show people how we take those raw materials, the water, the barley, the malted barley and the hops, and make beer. So we've got a very standard process here which we can see on the schematic, but we've even brought the equipment so you can see what we really do in the brewery. So we crush open the malted barley, it sits in a little grist case, we mix it in the mash tun with some hot liquor, hot water, it stands there for an hour and a half at a specific temperature. The natural enzymes already in the malted barley do the work for us. They release all those lovely sugars. We separate them out in the mash tun and then boil them in the copper where we chuck in the hops that we just saw on the previous exhibit. We boil it for an hour, get the bitterness and the aroma. We add some hops just before the end of the boil to get the aroma in there. Then we separate it out in a whirlpool, just spin it around, all the solids drop out, put it into the final vessel where we add the yeast, and a week later you've got a tank of beer. It couldn't be more simple. It's a natural process, a wonderful thing, close to agriculture, and that's what brewing's all about. What we're trying to show people at this part of the exhibition is really the yeast. Of course, the yeast is crucial in the brewing process. So we've got several real fermentations happening as we speak. Most people will know what this is. These are 2 demijohns which are actually fermenting. We've got yeast in there with some wort, and you can see the bubbles coming up through the top here. This is actually making carbon dioxide as we speak, and alcohol, and by the end of the week we'll have a nice little bottle of beer there. And we've just got a little microscope there, and if you look closely you can actually see the yeast growing and dividing. And of course yeast grows and divides only for the first 2 days of the fermentation. Once it's used all the oxygen up and stops growing, that's when it starts to make alcohol and turn the wort into beer. That's exactly what the brewer wants. This is a real ale cask, and what you're meant to see is the yeast on the bottom of the barrel, but it's been knocked and it's gone a bit cloudy. This is what the GBBF is not really about. This is how we would dispense from a keg, and it shows you that for chilled and filtered beers they're going to a container like this with a tube down the middle or a spear. You push the beer out with CO2, it goes through a chiller and then goes to the font that you see in all of the pubs up and down England. So we're just showing people the technology behind what happens when you go to the bar.